It all started with my sister, a naturally charismatic leader who loves the spotlight I'm standing in, while I'm more of a curious investigator who loves the depth of books. This starking difference made me question, why are we so different? This question led me to genetics. Perhaps the first time I learned that word was when I was, I think, 9 years old. My relentless curiosity led me to read a book, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This book is not even a book about biology, but a book about anthropology and history. Yet, ironically enough, this history, the book that I read, led me to an insight in the future. And what I'm talking about, it's about gene editing technologies like CRISPR-Cas9. In very simple words, these technologies help you to edit genes to cure diseases. Yet, having been a fairly wide reader, I know every technology, whatever it is not inherently good or inherently bad. Every technology, as I'd like to call it poetically, is a scalpel. Scalpel, I ask myself, because any technology, it depends on how you yield it and the intent, obviously. Imagine a world without diabetes, cystic fibrosis, and all those genetic diseases like diabetes. No, this technology can cure them. How would it be? Amazing, right? Miraculous even. But an afterthought struck me. What would happen if what would happen if this is used to make a child more genetically creative, genetically more brilliant, and genetically more advanced? It is possible. I'm particularly concerned about this because I imagine myself in my 20s where I've been asked, do you want your child to be more genetically creative, genetically more brilliant? Come and use our technology. It's an investment in your child. But what I want to say is, this is not an investment in your child. This is an investment in the destruction of humanity. Let me explain. The reason why I really wanted to investigate who my sister was more like is because she was different from me. She taught me, or at least motivated me, to teach myself skills I did not have in me. This is the reason. But if you want to really explain why diversity plays an important role, let me tell you a story. A historical story, rather. And it has three elements: a potato, the people of Ireland, and a water mold. The people of Ireland in the time of 1845 were dependent on only one species of potato, lumper. Why? Because the climate was perfect for it, and they obviously had no need to select an alternative for that, considering that the climate was cool and damp. But something unexpected happened. Nature's play. When a water mold, just a water mold, struck it, and the whole potato vanished, and suddenly people were hungry, famine occurred, and people fled the country of Ireland. And this great famine, as they'd call it, lasted for 7 whole years. And the US Geological Council says the root cause is lack of diversity. Why? Because they never really explored alternatives. They were all dependent on one species of potato. But why is it important in our context? Why do I even say it? Because if we decide a standard of competitiveness and perfection for us, and if that standard of competitiveness and perfection is induced to make the child more genetically creative and genetically advanced, then we all rely on a certain type of brilliance rather than the diversified forms of brilliance that must be celebrated. A child might be emotionally intelligent, a child might be intellectually brilliant, and a child might be both. But what should we do? We should celebrate them. We should celebrate because every type of strength is a brilliance at its own form. Today's standards might not be tomorrow's standards. Today's standard of competitiveness and today's level of competitiveness is not tomorrow's level of competitiveness. It might be more competitive in the future. So, above all, who decides the standards of which of perfection, of competitiveness? So, what should we do? And why do I care? Because what makes me and my sister us is our diversity and difference of opinion. If not for that, she is Deetika and I am Drishika. So, what makes us both sisters? Diversity, difference of opinion. So, the base of any siblinghood and of a society is diversity. So, the answer lies not in the scientists in the laboratories, but the adults sitting here, the teenagers in the classroom, and the educators who teach us. We must preserve differences. We must accept people for who they are. People might call me different, people might call me unique. But it's up to me to accept who I am. Because when I accept who I am, every single one of you here and every single one of you in the world must accept me for who I am. And that is diversity. I and my sister are not the same. Both of us are different. But both of us work together, and she taught me skills I do not have in me, and I'm going to teach her skills she do not have in her. So let's be aware, let us speak up. Let us preserve differences, and let us accept people for who they are. Thank you.